It's time for another adventure with junior scientists in the sea. And what a beautiful day to be out on the water. Yes, this is our office, which is also our playground. Today, we're going to be working with diadema, sea urchins, and take a look at the conditions. You're looking at the sea urchin farm. Down below, we go right to work. You'll notice what appeared to be screens, which are actually collecting devices to get baby diadema of opportunity that are swimming or floating through the water column. They get into these little nooks and crannies or these crevices and they hide. They hide until they can be put into one of these traps. Actually, they're cages. As far as you can see, cages. This is the diadema farm. And what is Jim doing? He reaches inside one of these cages and pulls out an adult diadema, a sea urchin. You can see that he's holding it in his hand and it doesn't sting him. He's going to hand it to me. I'm holding him in my hand. No gloves. As long as you know how to do it, it's perfectly safe. He put him back in his cage. Oh, a baby lobster. Awesome. You can see there that there's a crab in there and all kinds of other little living organisms. This is a natural environment for these sea urchins to grow. Let's put him back in his house. As Jim goes from cage to cage, he inspects, looks at each one of the baby urchins and moves them to either a better cage or a better location. He also inspects each one of these little grates to make sure that none of the sea urchins of opportunity have landed on them. If they did, what he would actually do is open up this cage and slide one of the units directly into it. But here, we're looking at each urchins who have been here for a while. He can remove them easily with fanning, or in this case, he's just got to pry this guy off. Takes just a little bit more work. But he's going to get this sea urchin off by gently pulling him off of the screen, and he's going to hand him to the JSIS ops boss, Suzanne. You'll notice that Suzanne has on gloves. But if you remember, Jim didn't have gloves on and neither did I. Jim is showing us one of the babies. This is not the smallest sea urchin in the farm, but it definitely is close to it. Jim also works with a cage that is more or less like his aquarium. He has coral in there. There are fish. You can see several juvies in there. There are urchins in here. There's actually even a spider crab that may have swam in when he was a lot smaller, but now he's too big to get out. but we're here for cleaning. As you can see, the cages get messy. As things from the water column grow on the outside, they actually will block off the light. Oh wait, what's this? You guys will recognize those antlers. That's an itty bitty tiny juvenile lobster. Yes, they're all over these cages. Here's another. If you look at that bolt head that's there, you can kind of get an idea of how small this lobster is, but he's perfectly formed, just like his adult would be. But the lobster are not the only inhabitant of this diadema farm. There is a sentinel, a guard. I'm not sure if it's a he or a she. We may have to check with the turtle hospital to get that determination. But in the meantime, we must remember that he or she is here. So as you can see, once we've cleaned all of the algae and other marine growth off of these screens, lots of light and nutrients are able to flow through. So these diadema will grow hardy because they have everything they need to survive and get larger so that they can eventually be outplanted onto a real reef. Jim will go from cage to cage, looking at how many sea urchins are of size in each one. If need be, he will move them to a less crowded cage so that the diadema will grow healthy. One by one, he'll open each cage, taking out one or two of the small urchins and moving them over to a less crowded cage. Not hard work, but definitely tedious. You have to protect them. And one of the things for sure is when you get them into the new cage, you have to make sure it is securely locked. We found all kinds of strange things growing on these cages. We're going to have to use this video to identify what they are. And as we're paying attention to some of these things, which like this snail, remember, I told you that there was a guardian, a sentinel, and he or she decided to come back and just make sure that we weren't doing anything nefarious. And let me tell you, she got right up in my face, gave me a whack with her shell, and then spun around and came back for a little bit more. So that's it. That's our day one in the diadema or the sea urchin farm. Stay tuned. Next you're going to see the street urchins. But it's time to go. We'll see you next time.